Why do you need to get it in high school? That's the problem. Is we're telling them it's okay for you to get it in high school. So because they're not
They
waiting, they're saying
get
it's
it
so
in.
we're okaying it.
Sweeney, he is right. You're right, and he is right. Because a woman's value is between 18 and 35. 35, anything past that, if she chooses to get pregnant, is geriatric. A woman's value starts when she's developed. The world is given to her. Men accrue their wealth. There's a limited amount of time where a woman has her highest value, in between 18 to 35. Men accrue their value over time. So is he wrong for telling his daughter, hold on to what is valuable? Because you have a certain period of time where men have till they all up in their 60s and 70s to keep playing.
A woman and she requires that y'all have sex because she want to try to ride out before marrying you, I don't curse, but she's a whore. Point blank period, meaning harlot. She's a harlot. Any woman that want to require the ride and you say, well, what about Tony? What about the man? Stop worrying about the man when I'm addressing a woman. Stop worrying about a woman when I'm addressing the man. Worry about you, loose booty. Worry about you. If you are whorish, then you need to look yourself in the mirror and you need to address that. And stop trying to pass the blame. Oh, well, the man sleeping with the woman too. No, you sleeping with yourself because it's you that's going to be carrying the baby. See, that's why it's worse for a woman, because a man can deposit into a woman and take off with his life. A man could deposit into a woman and he's not responsible for that baby. He can make money under the table. The woman has to carry that child for 9 months, visibly, 10 months all together. The woman got to bear that C-section or pushing that baby out. The woman have to bear a possible stillborn, a possible miscarriage, a possible deformity in the baby, possible special needs in the baby, postpartum, body falling apart, body tore up from the floor up. The woman has to bear all of that. So if a woman is ignorant enough to require that a man sleep with her before marriage because she want to try to rock the ride, she want to see how big his thing is and how he get down in the bed, there is no other thing other than her being a harlot. She is a harlot because that's not a woman's nature. And I'm telling you, because I done met and dealt with countless women. So for those of y'all women who you think that's normal, no, that's you and your loose booty friends. That's not normal. You in the wrong circle. I'm here to tell you as a man. I done dealt with so many women who do not get down like that. They don't move like that.
Tony Gaskins was speaking on loose booty women and how they want to try it out before marriage, and that's contributing to the situationships. I know. I think he must have dropped off. He's in the back. Let me check. Oh, there he is. No, he's right there. So I know Coel was speaking about it too. Like the men are having sex as well. Law said it's in our nature to do it, but we still creating these situationships, and then the men have a choice whether they want to stay or not. So it's like we circling back around, but it's still not leading up to marriage. But what are you guys' thoughts about what Tony said so far and what's been discussed from the people on the panel?
I think it's some bullshit.
So I think that so this I think he's right about men and women aren't the same, right? And that the woman investment in sex and the investment in creating a baby is going to have a much more dramatic effect on her life. And if a man ain't right, it could be optional in his. So at all costs, that's why, like, I'm definitely teaching my daughters to abstain from sex until marriage. But I'm not teaching my son that. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I am. Like I think that young men kind of have to go through like a rite of passage and then be able to deal with women. And if he never dealt with no woman and this is his first time getting some and dealing with, I don't feel confident that he'll have the skill set to make a relationship work, because he might go crazy after his first piece of, you know what I'm saying?
He will, for
And
sure.
now he's doing stalker shit.
Both of those ideologies are at odds with each other, bro.
What you mean?
Because one inherently creates the other problem. By telling men that they shouldn't wait, it inherently creates the problem when women won't.
I'm telling you what I'm telling my son.
I get what you're saying. I'm just saying that both of those ideologies are literally at odds with one another, because if you tell men, hey, you got to go out there and soil your royal oats before you get married because you won't know how to deal with a woman, who are they going to be sleeping with?
Exactly.
The women that's already sleeping with people. So I wouldn't tell him to go up for virgins, but you see,
but Marcus, you see the conundrum. Then you see he got to get something from somewhere. That's the conundrum.
The loose booties.
So if we
Mark's gonna catch some loose booties out there.
So here's the thing. This is what y'all gotta.
If we exist in a space where virgins exist and everybody a virgin, then I'd be like, yeah, you're gonna have to bite the bullet and stay a virgin. But if we're not in that world, then I'm not telling myself.
And here's the thing: you got to remember too. It's very different ball games when we speak about this. As a man, a man is only valued by what he can do. You know what I'm saying? And also, it takes a man to build something of himself in order to get some.
That's a fact,
right? You know what I'm saying? You have to be something. So it's a different ball game. A man has to make something of himself versus a woman just has to be, right? So what you do is you hold on, Viz. Right. You teach your daughters to value themselves a certain way, and you teach your boys to make themselves valuable. It's just different.
About racking up bodies.
Well, not necessarily racking up bodies, but you want to make yourself of value and then have some knowledge. So that way you're not treated as a simp, or you know how to deal with women, because they are already coming with their value. They already have their value, right? So once they're already on this pedestal, you need to understand how to adapt to such pedestals. You need to understand how to carry yourself so that you aren't the one being manipulated. You aren't the one being mistreated, because they know they have their value already. You know what I'm saying? So it's different. You raise boys and girls very different.
No, I understand what you're saying, but I don't know how it pertains to the conversation, because the only way to do that with what we're talking about is for him to rack up bodies.
I've never been the one. I've said from the jump that I'm not into I'm not telling anybody not to have premarital sex or whatever the case may be. My thing is protect yourself. Make sure because it's going to happen anyway. You'd be a fool to sit up here and think you're going to tell someone not to. I'm not preaching that. I'm preaching protect yourself, value yourself.
So long. When I was 16, me and my girlfriend in high school moved in together. And
whoa.
Straight up. Yeah. So when I was at that age, I had access to sex every single day. It removed the value of me being a horn bucket, running after women and getting put in situations where I'm chasing sex so hard that I put myself in bad situations. I transplant that information and just coexisting and dealing with a woman, into how I could function in other relationships. Without that key portion of my life, I don't think I'd be the same man, and I don't think I would be in a relationship where I don't have no fights and all these issues don't exist, because I wouldn't know how to separate women. I wouldn't know how to vet for different personality traits. I wouldn't even know how to structure a relationship in a way where, hey, no disrespect is coming from me, and it damn sure ain't gonna be coming from you. I wouldn't know how to set that up and stand on it like, shit, if you can't get down with this and you leave, that's fine, because I'll find somebody else. Like, being able to sit on that line where you're trying to draw a boundary is 100% one of the most important things, because a lot of the issues that men be going through is strictly because they don't have the balls to walk away from the woman, and she know that shit, so she could try him knowing he ain't gonna create a consequence behind it.
But Marcus, and again, I understand what you're saying, but is the only way that a man understands his value, because the way for you to be able to say that you understand your value. So are we saying that the only way for men to understand their value is by accumulating bodies?
No, I'm saying the only way to understand and deal with women is to deal with women. And if your first relationship is a marriage and you don't know how to deal with women going into that marriage, I think you're up for a bigger problem than if you got someone before you got married. But that's just my personal opinion and what I would teach my son. Ain't nobody else wrong. I'm just saying that's how I feel.
And I think again that kind of inherently creates the problem, right? Is because we're inherently creating a degenerate group of people, and then now we're trying to protect them from the degeneracy of that group of people. So if you because if you raised women to act like women and you raised young men to act like men, their first relationship should be that way. If we were raising them right, the problem is that we're not raising them right. We're raising them in degeneracy, and then we're trying to create placeholders and policies to protect them from the very degeneracy that we're allowing them to be a part of. For example, telling your young son, okay, to use Marcus's argument, there's always a chick with her legs open. Fair. But do you want your son to deal with the chick that always has her legs open? Because the chick that always has her legs open also comes with always has her legs open problems. It comes with STDs. It comes with illegitimate children. It comes with crazy. It comes with a lot of things that you would subject them to, versus just saying find you a good woman to begin with, and find you a good, you know what I mean, woman that's grounded in morals and with just grounded in morals, and then you can get on down the road. But if you telling him soil your royal oats, you already start to open them up to the additional problems you're trying to protect them from.
Yeah, and one thing I would say,
how many good women you think are good girls do you think you'll find in high school? Man,
why do you need to get it in high school? That's the problem. Is we're telling them it's okay for you to get it in high school, but only deal with the
middle school. Sweetie, they not waiting to high school.
Okay,
so because they're not waiting, they're saying we're okaying it.
Okay, no, we're not okaying it. You just need to know how to protect yourself and deal accordingly, bro.
When is your sexual drive?
One mic, so they can hear us. One mic.
We just heard Marcus say, "I'm telling my daughter to practice abstinence, but I would not tell my son." That's conflicting. That's conflicting advice, and he's literally creating the very problem that we're trying to. I'm not talking about if you're talking about trying to protect your son and telling them to protect themselves and let them know the problems that exist and giving them advice, that's one thing. But if you're actively telling your son it's okay for him to go out there and do that, or you're not actively preaching to him that he shouldn't do it, that's a whole nother problem.
Well, Sweeney, he is right. You're right, and he is right. Because a woman's value is between 18 and 35. 35, anything past that, if she chooses to get pregnant, is geriatric. A woman's value starts when she's developed. The world is given to her. Men accrue their wealth. There's a limited amount of time where a woman has her highest value, in between 18 to 35. Men accrue their value over time. So is he wrong for telling his daughter, hold on to what is valuable? Because you have a certain period of time where men have till they all up in their 60s and 70s to keep playing.
No,
is he wrong for protecting that seed that has a limited amount of time to be valuable?
He's absolutely right to protect his daughter, but he's also wrong for telling his son the opposite information.
Sweeney, men and women aren't the same, bro.
But but the thing is that our decisions may not yield to the same results. Women got different consequences, but there are consequences nonetheless. There is consequences for men behaving degenerately and practicing sex outside of marriage. There are definitely consequences for our actions. We're seeing them today.
Well, just because you have sex out of marriage doesn't mean that you're being a degenerate. Now, it can be degeneracy, but it doesn't mean automatically you're just being a degenerate if you're just having sex.
So now is the leniency that we're giving or we're telling young boys to have, is that not a part of why kids are having sex in middle school now?
Exactly.
we're literally creating a problem.
No, the environment,
So
and
when-
the message. The environment, the environment, and the messages they use is the problem, because when you're young,
that's what I'm talking about.
Your sex drive is the highest at what ages? Your sex drive is the highest at what ages? Do you know that?
13.
So again, if we're telling young men to give into their flesh, to give into their primal urges, is that not creating the very environment that kids are in now, to where they're having sex in middle school?
No.
I'm saying, look,
because-
can we hold on, Kenny? My bad, bro. Just real quick, I just want to say this. Can we all stop looking through history through rose-colored glasses and remember when you were 13, 14? I don't give a fuck what you told me. I was going to get it. I don't care what you said. I don't care. I went to church every Sunday, every Wednesday, and Friday. I don't give a fuck what you saying. I'm gonna go get it. You know what I'm saying? So let's stop with what we tell them, bro. We know it's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Kenny P,
I ain't have sex until I was 17. When I was 13, I was worried about sports. Nigga, I was trying to be the best on the basketball team. I was playing. I was outside in the streets playing football. I wasn't.
17 is still young, bro.
Hold on, just because it didn't happen don't mean he didn't try. Now, did you try?
How long? Here's
you probably just wasn't successful, but you for sure tried, bro.
How long?
I ain't tried. I can't even
you
say
didn't
that
try
I
to
tried,
have sex until you were 17.
Was I going out to the parties and juking and all the other shit? Absolutely. Was
you trying? When was your first time?
Girlfriend,
when was the first time you was like kissing the girl and was like, all right, I'm gonna try to take it there?
Shit, 11.
Okay, then exactly, bro.
Wait.
But I wasn't trying to have sex though. But I wasn't having sex though. That's two completely
different things.
One mic.
Here's the problem, right? Here's the problem. We're the adults in the room, right? We get it. Kids gonna do kid shit. People are gonna do dumb shit if you let them. We understand kids are gonna make mistakes, but if you are the adult in the room, your job is to tell them right for wrong. And if they make decisions, you dole out consequences if they need to be had, and you advise them to the best of your ability. But you as the parent shouldn't tell them, hey man, I know you're gonna go out there and get it anyway. It's all good. Go fuck at 13, but here's a condom though. That's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to tell them, this is not what you're supposed to do, but here's how you protect yourself. You're supposed to tell them that they're not supposed to do it. God even understands that we're human, we of the flesh, we all of this. But the first thing he tells us, this is what you're not supposed to do, and this is what you're supposed to do, but here's how you protect yourself.
I got a question. Cool question. So let's say Sweeney, you smoke cigarettes, right? And you're telling this young guy, hey, don't smoke cigarettes because I gotta go get a trach because I smoke cigarettes, right? And this young man continues, or he starts smoking cigarettes. Is that not on him to take heed to the advice that you was giving him, regardless if you're still smoking cigarettes or not?
Yes, it's on him. Hold on, wait. It is on him, but it's also your responsibility as well to be held to the advice that you give. So while it's also on him to heed to your advice, it's also on you to heed to your own advice. There's a reason why when they talk about people, there's a reason why when they pair you with when you Alcoholics Anonymous and all of that, they pair you with people who've been down that road, but they're actively also walking the journey. Is that they see somebody who's going down a path that they might be going on, or if they have not gone down that path, and they see, okay, that person is walking this journey, and they're telling me to follow them down this path. So yeah, it's both of y'all responsibility. It's the responsibility of the person giving the advice as well as the person that's listening to that advice to both adhere to the advice given.
That's cap.
Right.
I don't believe that, bro. I don't believe that. Go ahead.
So y'all gotta remember though, this is also not the same thing, bro. It's not your natural desire to want to smoke cigarettes.
Exactly.
You dig what I'm saying? Like, this is something that is in you, right? And we want to we're trying to put a moral compass on top of something that's natural. Everybody morals ain't set up the same way. If you know what I'm saying,
and this is what I'm talking about.
Hold on. Look,
come on,
if
man.
you are look, right? If you are on a island, what's that movie back in the day? It was a movie called The Blue Lagoon, right?
So you fighting for premarital sex.
Hold on. Look, it was listen. It was a movie called The Blue Lagoon, right? It was two kids that was stuck on an island. Brooke Shields and I forget the boy name. You know what I'm saying? First, they were like 7, 8 years old when they got stuck on the island. They knew nothing of it. They knew nothing of procreation or none of that. But when they became a certain age, it was a natural thing. You know what I'm saying? They weren't worried about getting married and this, that, and the other. Because at the end of the day, in nature, we're simply animals. You know what I'm saying? We've added all this moral fortitude to it. Oh, you have to wait until you do this and you do that. Bro, your body is naturally going to want to do this. You will figure it out without any other outside influences. If you put a young male and a young female together, at some point, they're going to figure it out, regardless if they want to or not. So that's not, you can't compare that to somebody saying don't smoke a cigarette and this, that, and the other. That's something different. That's not the same type of plan.
Law, it's you're being influenced. As teenagers, we're influenced to want to have sex because we're going to hold on, let me finish. Because we go to parties and we juking on girls. We dry humping. That's because we're
at that age, don't it? Don't it feel good? But don't it feel good though when you doing that? Do it feel good or not?
But that's you being influenced. So
no, it's not. If that's, it feel good.
Let me finish. Let me finish. So if that's the case, that it feels good, we're justifying it because it feels good. It feels good to smoke a square.
No, it don't.
It feel good to drink a beer.
No,
you know
it
what
don't.
I'm saying? So it's the same way that I agree. Yes, we are primal. We do get to the point where we want to relieve ourselves, but you can go rub one out, bro. We was all rubbing one out before we got some cheeks.
That's not the point, Joe.
My thing is the point.
Even if you're not influenced, you're going to want to have sex, bro.
Without any outside influences. That's what I'm saying, though. But if that's the case, nobody is forcing you to go and lay with a female. You can go rub one out and be on your way.
Who the fuck
do that all the time? You think these young boys gonna rub one out before they want the real thing, man? How long you think that's gonna last?
Right. Hold on, so wait, after you rub one out, you don't care, you don't want it no more?
My thing is, look, the thing is, why are we fighting so hard and we already know that sex is just a big problem in general. We already know that people gonna have sex, but what is the big pushback? We know people gonna have sex. It's like you fighting for it. It's like this. I hate the internet shit because you're talking about in nature or we know that if we was in nature, but my nigga, if you had a daughter, my nigga, you don't want your daughter out there figuring it out whenever it feel right to her, nigga. You want her to find the best man that she can and make it work. You don't want your daughter just figuring it out and popping her little thing whenever she gets the natural feeling.